Hello, everyone. My name is Sarafi, and I'm happy to meet you all. And today, I hit King of Games right before midnight, so I actually was awake when the ban list dropped. Let's take a look at it. It's going to be coming out on November 30th, 2 weeks from now. That's standard. No skill changes yet, so we'll have to see about skill changes. Chaos form is going to be limited to 1. This was unexpected, but it's a very good thing because Blackluster Soldier is one of the very few decks that has been able to use Enemy Controller since Enemy Controller got changed to Limit 1. So the combination of Enemy Controller and Crackdown is actually really toxic because it basically lets you steal one of your opponent's monsters, then tribute that monster to take one of your other opponent's monsters, and stop your opponent from attacking twice while also removing one monster on their field. That sort of thing is ridiculous, and it really is kind of the only deck that could really pull that sort of combination off is BLS, because as I've stated multiple times, the issue is that the deck can use its extra deck and its graveyard as two separate hands, so their main deck is comprised of almost all back row. This change is good. It will allow for people to stop needing to deal with enemy controller. And we look at the other Limit 1 card on the list, which is designed to go with this here. Ruru, the Magistus Glass Goddess. This is the MST for BLS. So you were able to target one of your opponent's spells and traps and Ruru and pop both of them. And this was kind of one of the reasons why BLS was so consistent, was because they basically didn't need to run MST or Cosmic because they could just get them off of Endymion. And that flexibility made their deck significantly better. The heavy back row focus of Duel Links has watered down people's decks because they have to play cards like Forbidden Lance or Mystical Space Typhoon or Cosmic Cyclone. And because BLS did not have to do that, they were in a very strong position. The deck still has access to Nightmare Phoenix, so I don't necessarily know that getting rid of Magistus is going to fix everything, but at the same time, I don't think they want BLS to be gone. This is a very heavy nerf that they're doing, but it's not the end of the world. Let's keep looking. Limit 2 for Teny, Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. This is similar to what they did with Infernoids. They started with one of their back row and put it to 2, and then they eventually moved to put the other back row to 2, and that killed the deck. Vessel is a very good card, and putting it to 3 would do nothing because the deck doesn't run any limit 3 cards. So putting it to 2 actually removes one copy of Vessel from the deck. Is that good enough to nerf Teny? I think that a lot of people who wanted to play Teny have moved on to playing Evil Twins. I have not seen nearly as many Teny players this month as I did last month. And Evil Twins is basically another link spam control deck, but you have more control over the interaction. Teny is a very reactive deck, whereas Live Twins is a very proactive deck. And so I think that a lot of people who like the Teny control style have moved on to Live Twins. And therefore I don't think that Teny is a deck that really needs any attention. So putting Vessel to 2 will kind of discourage people and push them to go into the Live Twin strategy. And I think that's probably fine because Live Twins, although the deck is significantly better than Teny, is also a deck that people will very easily find out the counters for. And at some point, Live Twins will be brought into bear by the meta. Basically, people will be able to tech against Live Twins and against Altergeist and put those decks to heal once we have the right combination of OTK potential and anti-control cards. We'll have to see. Next up, we have BLS and Endymion to 3 each. Envoy of the Beginning was the only card that they could really have limited 3 in BLS because the other cards are just bad. This does hit Live Twins as well, because Live Twins likes to run Envoy, and Live Twins also likes to run Limit 3 back row. So this will make Live Twins less able to close out games, because I do think they'll just cut the Envoys. I don't think they're going to cut their traps. So this will make Live Twin decks more reliant on the Avramax skill than they were before, because they'll just have less damage, which is good. That will probably tamp down a lot of the Live Twin decks moving forward, which I don't have a problem with. As far as BLS, removing Crackdown is huge. And then, of course, you also remove Endymion. And I really don't know what BLS is going to do here. It's easy to think that BLS will just keep the BLS cards because it enables their skill better. But I don't necessarily think that they will. They might just run more copies of the ritual cards to make sure that they can hit their skill, and then keep the Crackdowns or the Endymions. I think that Konami was concerned enough about Endymion sticking around that they limited Ru at the same time. So we'll have to see. It will be interesting to see. Maybe they run one of each. Maybe they run one Envoy, one Endymion for the high roll, and then one Crackdown. But I don't know. This is a significant nerf to BLS. I do think that BLS will stop being tiered at all after this point. They will drop from tier 1 to completely gone. I don't think that they're going to stick around. I think that a lot of people are going to stop playing BLS at this point because the deck is already very limited in what it can do because the monsters that you are required to run are so bad. And this change restricts a lot of the technical plays that BLS had. There's not a card that they could run that gives them nearly as much flexibility as Endymion, so it will change their entire strategy and their entire deck. They will have to run more monsters, they will have to run more removal, which will make the deck significantly worse. And that is good for the health of the game, but it's really bad for the BLS players. So, sorry, Ray. Shout out to Ray Missouri. I think he cogged at least twice with this deck before it got hit, so good for him. Orcus Nightmare has been moved from Limit 2 to Limit 3. That is a Gandorcus buff, because Gandorcus can play Kiteroid with it now. But it does mean that you can't play too many copies of Orcus Nightmare and Orcus Harpor, since they're both Limit 3. It also means that Scrap Recycler hurts the deck. The Scrap Recycler limit hurts the deck more. Is Scrap Recycler still limited? Hold on. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, Scrap Recycler is also still limited to 3. So, 3 limit 3s is pretty bad, but I don't know. The Gandorcus deck seems like it just uses Gandora to such a great effect that I don't know that the Orcus package really is all that necessary. It makes the deck significantly more consistent, but how much of the deck really needs to be Orcus for that to happen? They already have great searchers. So I'm kind of worried this will actually be a buff because it means that they can play Kiteroid again. Jet Synchron Unlimited, this is a buff to Bond without Bond that eliminates the future, because now they can play 3 copies of Tuning, 3 copies of Jet Synchron, and 3 copies of Mind Control. That's really funny. I am pretty close to getting my third copy of Mind Control, so I will 100% build this deck just to troll the ladder. Not even to climb. I will only do it at King of Games, but I will, now that I'm King of Games, I will go in and I will just take people's stuff and turn it into Signer Dragons and make them hate themselves. That's going to be funny. Look forward to that video. Double D Swirl Slime has been unlimited. Finally, finally, we can go back to playing the non-pendulum version of Triple D, which they killed really, really badly because they wanted people to stop and play the pendulum version. I hate the pendulum version. The pendulum version is so boring. I want to play Triple D High King Alexander, which has 6,000 attack points, and it feels great to have that with Caesar or not yeah, Wave King Caesar and High King Genghis. Just get all three of those out at the same time. Have 6,000 attack points. Have in negate. Have the ability to revive your monsters if they get destroyed, and don't even worry about the pendulum scales. They're bricks. This along with the fact that Dark Contract with the Gate got unlimited is great, and I hope that the pure Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz version of Triple D will see a lot more play now. Melody of the Awakening Dragon has been unlimited. I literally hit King of Games with Blue Eyes the minute before this drops. And, well, I gotta say, this is a huge buff to Thunder Dragons. Will it be enough for Thunder Dragons to start seeing play again? I don't know. I think part of the thing that keeps Thunder Dragons out of the meta is that the Blackluster Soldier Legendary Swordsman stops you from playing hand traps. And that's kind of like the whole way that Thunder Dragons don't die. But if BLS gets taken out of the meta, then the hand trap focus of Thunder Dragons might make them better against specifically Live Twins, because Live Twins, because their Lila Pops, have a great grind game against back row, which is part of the reason why they're so good right now. So a hand trap focused deck, especially now that we have Effect Veiler, would probably do pretty well against them. And I think that's kind of their goal. I don't think that they're unlimiting Melody so that they can buff Blue Eyes, because I don't think that Blue Eyes needs it. Yes, you can play Limit 3 traps in Blue Eyes now, but I don't think that's enough. 3 Limit 3 traps is not enough to make a big difference. The reason why the Limit 3 traps are successful mostly is because you can play them with cards like Book of Moon and other good cards. But if they're literally your only back row is the three crackdowns or the 3 compulses, you're probably better off playing Hallowed Life Barrier just so that you can make sure that you don't die with one card. So, I mean, it will be a buff to Blue Eyes, undoubtedly. I don't know what they'll do with it, because you can't play Levianeer in Blue Eyes, because it requires you to only summon light dragons with a level. So, we'll have to see how this changes things. Keep an eye out. Blue Eyes will probably be close to tiered next month, and Thunder Dragons will make a resurgence with this, guaranteed. The only limit card that they have now is Levianeer, which is what they were waiting for. Actually, now that I think about it, they probably they probably only unlimited Melody because they were limiting Envoy. They probably, now that Envoy is limit 3 alongside Levianeer, they probably thought, okay, now we can let Thunder Dragons be good again. Which is funny. Mul Penning Cur is now completely unlimited, which is very interesting, because what this means is that the Mul players essentially get their best card for free, because this card was released as a limit 1 card in the card trader. You could obviously get more than 1 copy of it. So everyone is able to get 3 prismatic copies of the best Mul Ultra Rare for 0 gems. That's really cool. It's really cool that they decided to unlimit this card that they were initially very cautious about, and that People who stuck around for Madolches as long as they did got this little reward. Shout out to Kairu, the Madolche Guru. I hope he enjoys this. This should be enough, I think, for Madolches to start seeing some serious competitive play. Although I don't know that the environment is good for it, which is probably why they're making the change now, because they probably think that Madolches won't be that big of a deal in the current meta. Live Twins really ramped things up, and it's going to be quite difficult moving forward with Live Twins and with Altergeist after people acquire all the cards from the box. We're kind of at the stage where the box is expensive and people haven't gone through the whole box 3 times yet, but they will, and we're going to see it. The Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch being unlimited means that you can play Odd Eyes Raging Dragon and Raid Raptors again, which is pretty funny. Um, the actual Dark Rebellion, Dark Requiem Xyz deck with rank up magic launch. Does it care that you can use a limit 1? What limit 1 would you want to play in Phantom Knights? Maybe enemy controller? Maybe Treacherous Trap? No, not Treacherous Trap Hole, because you have too many traps. I don't know why they're doing this. I think it probably is just Raid Raptors. I think they probably didn't mean for Raid Raptors to stop being able to play Raging Dragon. And really, Raid Raptors are the only deck that can do that, because they are the only deck that makes a rank 6 Dark monster with 0 materials. So, yes, they were able to still make Rebellion Dragon, which was really, really funny, but Raging is a much better card. So, shout out to Magi, the Raid Raptor guy, who really likes my videos. I hope that you are able to cook something good with this and have fun. Neos Fusion is now unlimited. This is insane. Kluger is on the borderline of being a good deck. I would personally say that I think that Eternal Bond is tier 2. I think that Eternal Bond is an extremely good deck. Very, very consistent and very, very powerful. But the tournament results don't line up with that. Which is, maybe people just are finding ways around Ubel that I'm not seeing. But Ubel is an extremely good card, a very dangerous card, and the power of Kluger is that it floats really well. So Neos Fusion being unlimited means that you can play 3 Neos Fusion and 3 Klugers. That will make the deck much, much better. You don't even need to play 3 Klugers. You can play 2 Klugers and like 1 limit 3 trap if you wanted to. How does this affect the deck? I will go ahead and I will tell you guys that you need to be really careful with Neos Fusion, because Neos Fusion does prevent you from special summoning at all. I actually won my rank up game for King of Games tonight because someone played Neos Fusion, and then they attacked my Blue Eyes with their Neos Kluger, burned me for 1500, and then chose not to use Neos Fusion's effect to protect their monster from being destroyed, with the intention of special summoning Neos Wiseman and going for lethal because I only had 2500 life points left. However, because Neos Fusion had locked them into not being able to special summon for the rest of the turn, even though their Kluger was destroyed, they could not summon Wiseman, and then I just OTK'd them. So remember that, and don't be that guy. Last card, Witchcrafter Holiday. This is a monster reborn for Witchcrafters, and obviously it can return itself to the hand every turn. Witchcrafters have not been good in a very long time. This card was overdue, although I will say that once again, Cyber Dragons get nothing, which is sad. So this is a good list. No changes to Trick Stars or to Rockets yet, but I did think that both Trick Stars and Rockets were going to see skill changes. So we'll see if the skills get changed with the skill adjustments. I am kind of sad that Silver Rocket Dragon didn't get unlimited, but I guess they don't want to limit quick launch for some reason. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me, guys. I hope that you enjoy, and this is Sarafi. I was thrilled to have you all with me.